So today we are looking at the Team 2 for the rating refresh. The rating reloads is here and we've got Messi, Doué, De Bruyne, even a bit of Yoro. And to be honest, if this was meant to be a rating that they got wrong, why is Yoro in here? I mean, I'll absolutely take it. But realistically, if they're going to put any centre-back in here, De Ligt's the one to go for. I think that Yoro's barely really played too much. He's been more than likely the substitution and bring it on. But we keep going with it. We have got some very nice players, and the first one that I want to go to is going to be Pedro. Now, he's the SBC from this week so far. 100,000 coins. Not a bad card. I don't have any problem with the card whatsoever. I think he is a very nice English Brazilian striker. So if you're looking for coins, head over to eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by Trade Shield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. The problem I have now is exactly what we had, the same issue last year, is that obviously we got this 86, phenomenal, great, all that jazz. Better than his 79. 7 pace increase, 88666. Beautiful. Lovely upgrade, 4-star, still no playstyle plus, but we can kind of move with that. And then a decent amount of playstyles. We then literally get a very nice Evo that then takes him up to an 84 for 25,000 coins. Granted, there is a few players that might beat him out to this, Rashford being one of them. But then we look at the upgrade, 2 shooting, 3 passing, 3 dribbling, defending, and he loses out on physicality. We are spending 25,000 coins on the 79 and then this, to then pretty much just get a standard couple of upgrades. No pace, no weak foot. In terms of playstyle pluses or playstyles, in fact, you got low driven, rapid first touch versus power shot, finesse, rapid press proven. So you've got a few either way. It's not necessarily the massive deal, but just to go that's 75k more, I just don't see the worth in it. Now, if we're talking about the card itself, solid, absolutely solid, very usable 100% of the time. He's not going to be top meta by any shadow, but in general he's going to be a nice card to play with. But realistically, I just wanted to bring that to an attention in case you don't do evolutions. I personally would sack the value off him just completely off the table, to be honest. And I do think when we do look at the kind of low rated, I know a few people last time round said like some of these players are pretty decent, they might have something. They're not. Like, I mean, yes, you could get a little bit out of some of them maybe, like, but realistically, like, even as a Man U fan, what am I really doing with this CDM? Like, they're just not going to get over the bog standard. Caicedo's like 20-30k now. Reina's is coming in at 80. We've got then defenders coming in cheaper. The bottom end of the rate and reload, the bottom end of any promo, the players don't get used. There is no way that anybody's using this keeper, this left mid, this cam, unless it is a very specific team or in a specific league where you need a different option. Say you're going for a Bundesliga striker, but they have to be German striker in Dortmund, and this is just the perfect option. Fair enough. You might get a bit of use out of him. But realistically, is he going to take over a Gyökeres? Is he going to take over like a Wilson? Of course not. And as soon as we get there, it's just going to be lights over for them. So realistically, when you do look at the kind of standard ones, even I'd say probably he's a better one. But I looked at Ivan, who's the one I got from Champs Rewards. Ivan Romero, 89 pace, standard, decent shooting, decent dribbling. That's great. But he's still not getting in the team. So realistically, they're just going to have to go into the miss. Like, yes, you've got a few that you could go into kind of like the usable category just with that little extended extra. But realistically, you're looking at kind of leagues that don't necessarily have it. If you're obviously looking in Ligue 1, if you've got somebody that is 83, 84, 85 that has a little bit of stats in him, because we've got such a golfing class like Dembele's, like millions upon millions of coins, yes, you might be able to get in. Bundesliga could be worth the upgrade. Bit of Serie A, but La Liga's got loads. Prem's got loads. It just isn't going to happen to a lot of them, unfortunately. Now, I do think they have spread the bench pretty well. We've obviously got Batcher, Antony. We've got Francesco, yeah, you know what I mean. And then obviously Dunn. So it's not all very low cards in here. We have got the Icelandic lady that I cannot pronounce her name. That is just not going to happen. But realistically, when you do look a lot of them, they're just not going anywhere, unfortunately. And I wish it would be different, but that's the kind of point of having low budget players and then into that kind of medium and then a little bit higher. It's just part of the game. The keeper in himself, though, 6'3". Syria, you're obviously coming up against Manyan. You're coming up against a lot of solid keepers. I mean, if you want a dynamic on the keeper, fair enough, like you'd be able to get it. But you've got Manyan, you've got Summer as the other one. De Gea obviously is in there as well, so he's gonna come behind all of them. I mean, maybe at 6'3", I'll be lenient with him. You could get a little bit out of him, but realistically, he more than likely ends up in the miss. Like, let's be real with this. But then we want to see my boy, because Antony is actually in this into this team, and I don't know how. Like, he has most definitely been decent enough by the sounds of it when it comes to playing for Betis, but up to an 86 now. Incredible for him. 3 on the pace, 7 shooting and passing and defending, 3 on the dribbling and 5 on that physicality. It's a lovely upgrade for him. Some very nice stats, still questionable at times. 81 on that composure, could do with a bit of more. Obviously they're going to go with a Hunter, 93-88. I mean, for 200k, he's not bad. Like, he's not a bad winger. I do think the wingers are still floating in and around compared to like looking at your Salas and looking at your top end. I'd go into the very usable for him. I think we're going to just put Batcher there for the moment because I do think she is going to be an incredible card. And to be honest with her, it's a debate of if you put her in that top meta or not. When it comes to left backs, other than maybe your icons, your Roberto Carlos's, realistically, like your Nuno Mendes is just exceptional. I'd possibly put her in there as well. Like, there isn't that many left backs where you're thinking they could play absolutely everywhere. You've got Anchor, 92, 85, 85, whipped pass plus. I mean, if we do compare it to the other left backs that we've got in the game, obviously you've kind of got to throw in a few of the icons like Roberto Carlos, Marcelo, kind of miss on Lam, Lazarazu. Sakina's kind of more of your cam, and then we've got... Then it is Nuno Mendes. So, I mean, she is coming in more expensive than Mendes. Would I say she's of that capability? She's only just came out, so she's going to be a bit more value and ready to drop. Ashley Cole, Zambrata, Bonpasto. I mean, I'd probably put her up there. I think realistically, in terms of fullbacks, we don't have many. So we gotta really have them numbers up there. Then if we're looking at across the board, we'll have a look at a bit of Yoro. He's one that I am most definitely interested to see. He was the one I wanted from my Max 87 pack, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. 103,000, a solid upgrade for him. 11 on the pace, 7 defending, 10 physical, 11 on the dribbling. Just a lovely upgrade for him. Massive composure dump, great agility balance. A perfect upgrade for him. It's exactly what we needed for a Man U team. It is dreadful out here. So taking that big upgrade, I'll take whatever I can get. And if he does drop, because I don't think he's necessarily in a top meta, he's very usable. I think he's a great card. He's a lovely upgrade, but he's not going to be in that top meta. But compared to what we have, it needs that upgrade. Saliba as well is just magnificent in the game. He was an absolute star this champs. And then if we do go over to another English player, we'll go over to James, 635. Beautiful card, 87 rated. We already knew that she was going to get a solid upgrade. Now, in terms of kind of what we see, nothing too crazy on the pace. Everything else, 2s and 3s across the board going up to the 87. We've got pretty much everything the same in terms of a playstyle plus and playstyle across the board. We've got a few more, obviously, roles, stats-wise, standard. And I think she's a great card in herself. Whether I'd put her into the top category, I mean, we've got to be battling out Salah. You've got Yamal to some extent, Hansen, and then obviously looking at Diane. I don't know if I'd go. I think she's probably is in the top realistically, isn't she? In terms of what we're seeing price-wise, we are seeing like just a massive curve at the moment. She's probably up there, I'd say, to be fair. Like, she's one of them ones, like in the base stats, maybe being questionable, but it's a good upgrade for the card. Like, I mean, it's not going to be too much worse. Messi. Always great card, 88 rated. A little bit less pace than I expected. I expected kind of like a 6 or an 8, to be honest. Going into there, 4 pace, 2 shooting, 2 passing, 1 dribbling, 2 physicality. Now, he is 1.2 mil, who's naturally going to be up there. What we do want to check is how much is Ronaldo now? Because he got himself an 88, 990. So Messi's got to hold his price pretty well. How much did he hold his price by? So it was like 3 mil. So then 1.6, and then he's slowly dropped down. Fair enough. So Messi could potentially drop a little bit quicker. We have got the finesse shot plus on him, so that could potentially keep him a lot higher for a lot longer. That in the cam could be incredible. He is a Shadow Striker plus. I am looking for one. I don't have 1.2 mil. Do you want to donate to my account? That would be lovely. But in general, Messi's Messi. I mean, like, this is kind of what we said when they start giving you Ronaldo. They naturally start going around the list. Normally next up would be like a Neymar, or you get an Mbappe, a Haaland, and then they'd just go back. And it's almost like that's the point of everybody. They'll have a point man on everything. A Virgil, a Ronaldo, a Messi, a Yamal, probably then someone like Dembele. They'll give them a slight upgrade and they'll just move it round. And that's like 6-7 weeks worth of content. And then they just recycle back round. Messi's obviously in this one, and we more than likely will end up with another one at some point in the near future. Now, unfortunately, we won't get any player of the months from him because the MLS, I believe, don't have it anymore. Then we move into another player that has got a lovely upgrade in De Bruyne, an 88 rated, coming with a bit more of a pace increase. We're obviously seeing, I believe it was a plus 11. Going from 66 to 77. Everything else standard. 5 on the defending, 4 on the physical. A lovely upgrade for him. Exactly what he needed. He's gone from whipped pass to the incisive, which I think is massive for the card. And with that pace increase, it really does just give him that little bit of a level up. Now, you can kind of go one or two ways. You go with a hunter and go in more in towards a cam. Or you go with something like the shadow to try and balance him out slightly into a centre mid. Now, both ways for me, I think, are exceptional for him. He's a really nice card in the middle, and now changing the big key factors from that incisive or from that whipped pass into the incisive. That is a massive upgrade for me. One that they do have in the Serie A is Yildiz. He is one to definitely be watching at the moment. Going from a 79 to the 82 in form, all the way up to this 87. Very interesting to see this upgrade, even from just a base kind of perspective. 2 on the pace, 4s across the board, 6 on the defending is what it is. But he is a cam with the technical. Finally get himself a play style plus. Can play centre mid, left wing, and cam as well as left mid. He's an interesting one to say the least. I think definitely looking at him, if you've seen him last year, he's quick on the ball, he's 6'1", so he's quite a tall player, but he's very, very slick and he can get around a lot of players. He's going to be one that personally I think this year, after playing with the 82 at the start, was alright. This upgrade could really change a lot for him. I think there's going to be a bit of a question for him where he could potentially put himself in that Serie A sort of cam role. Him and De Bruyne, then obviously going for like a CDM in the Serie A there, could be very interesting. Now, obviously, we've got to throw into the man of the hour. Doué is looking incredible. He is a lovely 85, and I think he has shot up right into that 87. Beautiful card. He's gone from the trickster to the technical. Stats-wise, nothing too crazy, but like we've seen with Doué, he just needs slight upgrades. He's a very good card off the board. He's got a lot of play styles. He's obviously got a lot of roles as well. He can just do everything. He's quick. He's got that dribbling technique. He's got a bit of shooting, which obviously can be upgraded with the hunter now, which I think is going to be massive for the card to say the least. And he is going to be a card that will definitely get up there in the near future. Once he starts really putting in them shifts, he will be one that I think will be very, very questionable in that end game. And you will be looking at the best version of him. We then throw in to our first upgrade for our boy Dumfries. Now, it's not necessarily been the craziest upgrade for him, I must admit. Going from the 84 to 86, standard across the board. He got a lovely pace passing upgrade, going with the +5, but really, he just needs a little bit more to him. Now, I mean, I'm not going to complain. His 88,000 is nothing too crazy in terms of the upgrade, but realistically, when we do look at the Frimpongs of the world and all of them, they're just, he's not worth the upgrade at the moment. I think he's just a standard right back. Unless you're obviously building the Serie A team, then naturally he's going to be one of the better ones you can get in there. I think, is it Di Lorenzo that's already got a right back card for him? So whether you've already gone there for the 108, was he? I don't know if he was. Was he an S? No, he wasn't an SBC. So interesting to say the least. For Dumfries, though, I think I would drop him down slightly. I kind of expected just that little bit better from him, in my opinion. There just needed to be that little bit more. Then, obviously, we kind of just quick fire a couple. We've obviously got Grimaldo coming in at 69,000. Solid card, nothing too crazy. I think he's kind of more on the usable. And then we have kind of this guy, Francesco, 91 pace, 88 dribbling. Terms of him in general, always going to be nice down the wing. He's going to have limitations, in my opinion, and I think he's going to be very questionable in that final third. But in terms of kind of getting down the wing, gives me that Adama vibes without that physicality. We then have Dunn coming in from the bench, as well as then Shaw. Shaw coming in 158. I mean, she's definitely an interesting one this year. I don't think she quite has that major effect compared to what she did, but in general, she's always been a nice striker, and having that low driven now in comparison to the precision header is absolutely massive for her. And then obviously Dunn from the bench, 94,000. Great centre mid. You obviously have got the stats across the board for her. She will be one to throw in as a very, very cheap beast, in my opinion. So I would go with both there. And then finally finishing off with Szoboszlai, 87 rated, coming up from the 83. Can obviously now play in that right back with the dead ball plus, whether that makes a massive impact or not. A solid upgrade for him. I think he needed the right back, since we can play there now. But in general, he's always got pretty impressive stats, like 3 on the passing, 4 on the dribbling, 4-4, 5-4. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning there. So let me know down below what you're going to go with. If you have managed to get any of these, leave it in the comments. If you've got Messi, can you donate him to me? Because he'd be a perfect shadow striker. And we do have a Sergio Busquets end of era coming very, very soon. Make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.